Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, my roomie didn't know I spoke Spanish and tried to talk behind my back. Ruin my house, enjoy your surprise. I gaslit an annoying kid and turned the class on him. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My roomie didn't know I spoke Spanish and tried to talk behind my back. For context, I'm Afro-Latina, but most people just assume I'm African American and don't speak Spanish. Well, the other day I was getting ready and I overheard my roommate on the phone with her mom talking in Spanish, and most importantly, they were talking some mad crap about me. More context, I have a long-term boyfriend and more often than not I spend the night at his house, but I think it's super important to keep my own place as well for my own independence. But I guess to her she assumed I am a streetwalker and stay with a different man every night. Her words. So what do I do? I burst out into the living room and say, "Wow, I didn't know you spoke Spanish too." In Spanish, and y'all, this girl's face turned red. She just smiled and said, "Oh yeah," and said goodbye to her mom and went to her room. I went to a Midwestern college, but we had a lot of international connections. In school I worked at the IT help desk, and once a semester every student living in the dorms had to bring their computer to IT so we can make sure it's updated and doesn't have viruses. Say what you will, but that was the rule then. Anyway, these French exchange students come by and drop off their laptops. They have pirated Windows so they can't be updated. I say, "Sorry, I can't approve these, they have pirated Windows. You can go to the bookstore and get a legit key for $20 and I can help you install it." They reply, "We didn't do anything wrong." I said, "I'm not the morality police, I don't care, but without a legit key, I can't help you." They speak in French and say he's an idiot, will come back and ask someone else, to which I reply in French, "You're welcome to try," but they'll give you the same answer. I'm an overweight 50 years old white male with a slight southern accent that just happened to live the first 10 years of my life in PR and am fluent in Spanish. Yeah. I've had similar stuff happen to me. Shocks the hell out of folks that don't know me on work sites. You handled it great. I usually do the same offhanded / on topic comment that results in a bug-eyed oh shit look. People don't realize it's a global society. My middle-aged white female friend spent her childhood in Central America because of her dad's job. A couple I know emigrated to the US from completely opposite sides of the globe and have decided to learn each other's original language even though they both speak fluent English. Lots of people learn a second language for work or just a hobby. Race, or perceived ethnicity, should never be a determining factor. My dad married my mother, who was Mexican, and he worked in a Latino-dominated area. I think the city is 65% Latino. My dad has pale blonde hair and blue eyes, so no one assumed he understood it. His accent in Spanish is basically the accent George W. Bush was faking, deep southern accent. He worked as a pharmacist / pharmacy manager. He regularly had new employees who spoke Spanish at work. He usually wouldn't tell them he spoke any unless they said something extremely inappropriate, and then he'd say in English that isn't a work-appropriate topic and move on, much to their embarrassment. I think it became tradition of his staff to not tell the noobs and see how long they could take it. It was an important lesson, especially in San Antonio. Don't assume people don't speak Spanish, especially in a city dominated by Latinos. Also, your customers can all hear you gossiping too. If you don't want everyone to know, don't say it. I used to travel to Japan on business. I'm a pale guy with blue eyes, but I got a minor in Japanese when I was in college. I generally let comments slide, but one day on the subway a woman said quite loudly how much foreigners stink. I replied in my most polite Japanese that I thought people in Japan had a reputation for being polite, but I was mistaken. I grew up with my Italian stepmother and her mother doing this to my entire English-speaking family. They would literally be in a room full of people and just start going off like no one could tell from their tone or facial expressions / body language that they were talking bad about someone. We all thought it was extremely rude. Just a couple months ago, some Spanish speakers got hired at my company. They didn't like our policies and decided to talk bad about the white female manager en español. But unfortunately for them, we had just fired 2 people for being racist, and several of the all-white people in the room could understand what they were saying. So they all got fired too. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess. Ruin my house, enjoy your surprise. So a friend of mine was recently gifted a house from her grandmother. Her aunt and aunt's ex had been living there and she was moving out. The ex had been staying there until everything was finalized. A few days before taking possession, my friend and her boyfriend did a walk through to see what work needed to be done to get it move-in ready. Usual things like painting and whatnot. Fast forward a few days to possession day, and they go in. The ex had taken all the door knobs off of every door except the front, had played hockey in the kitchen and put holes in all the walls, and destroyed the floor in the room that was to be for my friend's daughter. Her grandmother does not wanting to cause issues because the guy is kinda nuts and just wants the headache to be over. While he still has some boxes and bags of belongings in the basement to come and get, but he also has a large dog. He never cleaned up after the dog, and so the backyard is full of large dog piles. Now the backyard is cleaned up and his boxes and bags have a lovely moving out present for him. Steal my doorknobs and destroy my house, keep your shit, literally. Update: he came to pick up all his shit yesterday, August 12, 2023. The bomb has been planted, CS terrorists. It's the friend's house, she can press charges regardless of what Granny wants. I don't think he's coming back for those boxes. So now your friend has boxes full of dog shit, I'm guessing in their home or garage, that will probably never be retrieved? Yeah, they got the BF good there. Unless the BF actually comes to get the boxes, which is doubtful, I'm not seeing any revenge. I don't think he would tear up the house, and then expect to just drop by and pick up his belongings. He's not coming back. Maybe you can have them delivered to his new address? I gaslit an annoying kid and turned the class on him. Back in middle school, a real disruptive kid, the kind that frequently causes the class to get more work because he wouldn't shut up, left his notebook on his desk during movie day. In a larger room, when everyone took a seat around the television, when I had to go to the bathroom, I took it off his desk and put it in his own backpack. When class was wrapping up, he started losing his shit, insisted it was stolen, and kept it up until they brought in the security and the vice principal. This was the last class, and now he kept everyone held up for at least an hour after school to search everyone's bag and locker until they looked in his bag, and everyone, staff included, hated him. He got a suspension, grounded by his parents, and bullied by everyone else for wasting their time. I didn't feel too bad, he was insanely close to get it with the next extra assignment, he would get the class. Why did not one of the adults insist he check his bag first? It would have been more logical, from a teacher perspective, that he put it away and forgot than somebody stole it and then put it in their backpack or locker. They did, and he insisted that there was no way he forgot, doing something so routine that it's basically automatic, and threw a shit fit every time it was brought up until everyone else's shit was searched. Gaslit? You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means. What is with people all of a sudden just throwing out this term at the drop of a hat? It's infuriating. And now the group will perform dragging OP in C minor. You kept everyone behind for over an hour, but sure, he's the disruptive one. Please explain how this is gaslighting. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.